What's going on, guys? Pistol Packing Pilot back with another video. I am thoroughly disgusted, ashamed, and embarrassed that I even have to make this video. Why do I have a Faraday Cage and N95 masks on this camera? Stay tuned. Alright guys, Pistol Packing Pilot is back! You saw the title of this video. I'm a prepper, but I'm not a doomsday prepper. I never have been. I do not have an underground concrete bunker below my house, and for the first time, I feel a little unprepared that I don't, based off of what's going on in the Ukraine and Russia, and our potato-in-chief in the White House, who is leading us right into World War III with a superpower that has a tremendous supply of nuclear weapons and has potential to wipe all of the global civilization off the face of the earth. We're going to talk today about a nuclear bomb and the biggest threats that come from being anywhere near a nuclear blast. First of all, if you're in the initial blast radius, you don't have to worry about surviving the after effects from it because you'll be immediately incinerated. Generally, when a nuclear bomb goes off, the initial blast radius is a very small percentage of the fatalities, and the largest number of fatalities will happen afterwards from the radioactive dust, otherwise known as the radiation fallout. So the idea here is to give you guys some pointers and some tips about attempting to survive, for lack of a better words, what is a doomsday scenario, because it is survivable if you have a plan and if you prepare it. If you don't prepare it, you are going to watch your children die right in front of your eyes, and then you will die. If you're already vomiting from potential radiation exposure, chances are that you're already dead. You're a dead man walking. You probably have maybe a few hours left to live. Now, is that scary? Yeah, it's scary as fuck. It's terrifying. That's why I'm making this video. The purpose is to keep this from happening. When you talk about radiation fallout, your main concern is gamma radiation. It's odorless and it's colorless, but the good thing about it is the effects of it decay very rapidly. It will give off half of its radiation in the first hour and 80% of its energy in the first day. That's why these first 24 hours after a blast are super critical for your survival. After 2 weeks following the blast, 99% of all of its radiation has already dispersed. And of course, there's weather patterns that can make that even expedite along faster, such as rain. Rain is great for washing away that radioactive dust. The prevailing winds will blow the dust in certain directions. If you can see particles of ash or dust on the streets, on the sidewalks, on cars, or any other surfaces, and you go outside without the proper equipment on, it's a death sentence, period. End of story. The idea here is to get indoors and stay there. If you're in a car, that's a death trap. Get the fuck out. If you're in the car during the initial blast, get low and stay low. Lay on the floorboards. After that shock wave passes, you've got essentially 10 to 15 minutes to get shelter before you start getting exposed to that radioactive dust. Get away from the windows. You want to get as deep into a structure and as low as you possibly can. The lower you can get, the better your chances of survival. Don't touch your eyes, mouth, nose. Get your clothes off. They are now contaminated. Get your clothes off outside. One of the few times that y'all can get naked outside, get everything off and leave it outside. Get inside the house. Take a shower immediately. Use soap. Do not use conditioner. Conditioner will bind the radioactive particles to your skin and your hair. And this right here, the magical N95 mask, right? Use it. This is not for the beer flu. This is a practical purpose for the N95 mask. If you're at home, plastic. Cover up all of your cracks on your windows, on your doors. Duct tape them. Shut off all of your fans, air conditioning, heating, air handlers. Close your fireplace ducts and hunker down in a room with no windows. Basements are the best. Remember, as low as you possibly can. I live in Florida. I'm screwed. We don't have basements in Southwest Florida. We barely sit above sea level. That's a problem for me. I do have rooms in my home that have no windows in them. My house is built out of concrete slab construction. If your house is built out of wood, it is not safe. You are going to die. Period. Find a better option. Remember, the highest levels are between the first 1 to 2 hours after the blast. You do not want to die from radiation poisoning. It's one of the most painful and horrific ways you could possibly die. Radiation enters your body through your thyroid gland. Taking potassium iodine tablets after a blast can actually help your body to not absorb any of that harmful gamma radiation. It does this by filling up your thyroid with stable iodine, and when your thyroid gland is filled up with stable iodine, there's no room left for it to ingest harmful gamma radiation. This right here is drops, potassium iodine drops for my kids. This stuff is not something I would ever give them unless it was a potential life or death scenario. Mrs. Triple P and I have potassium iodine tablets that are on the way to our house as I speak. We were able to order them immediately. Good luck finding them now. They're all fucking sold out. We were able to get our hands on a couple hundred of them for fairly cheap. So I'm very, very blessed to have done that. I hope to God I never have to use any of this shit. Do not drink any of your city water or tap water until it has been deemed safe. There's a very, very high probability that your city water will be contaminated. Drinking that will be a death sentence. If it doesn't kill you in the next several days, you'll probably get cancer and be dead in a year or two. Avoid tap water until you're positive that it is no longer contaminated. This is why I always stress water, 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 water. Water and ammunition, two of your most important things when you prep. If you don't have water and you don't have ammo, you're fucked. Food, need that next. Warmth. I've never, ever, ever thought about having to survive a nuclear blast. And this is coming from a 47-year-old man who grew up in the 80s during the Cold War, and we were always under a nuclear threat. For some reason, it feels different this time. Maybe it feels different because Vladimir Putin is a 73-year-old man at the end of his life, and he's hungry for power. And this is his chance to make his mark. And the potato in chief in the White House cannot keep him under control. When Trump was in the White House, some of the liberals called it pandering. Some of the liberals called it collusion, but Trump kept Putin under control. Now Putin can do whatever he wants. Anything outside is probably contaminated. Even burning wood that you got from outside could contaminate you with harmful gamma radiation. After a nuclear blast, you are going to have something called an electromagnetic pulse. This is a Faraday cage, basically a Mylar bag. What do I have in here? Comms, anything electronic, anything that could get fried. You want to protect that stuff. These bags, and actually what I have in here is double bagged. I've got it in 2 of them, so they're in one Faraday bag or Faraday cage, whatever you want to call it. And then I folded that one up and I placed it in this bag, so they're double bagged. And this will stop your electronics from getting fried from that initial blast. Even after several weeks pass, the radiation levels may still be dangerous, not necessarily fatal, but still dangerous. Leaving the area after several weeks have gone by is potentially your best option, especially taking into consideration what your weather patterns and your climate may be like where you live. For example, I live in Southwest Florida. I'm screwed if it happens in the wintertime. We get no rain. It's 70 degrees and sunny every fucking day. That dust will stay there. It generally doesn't even get very windy during the winter months. 10 knots of wind is probably not going to be enough to disperse all of that radioactive dust. If you live in a climate like that, potentially after several weeks have gone by, or maybe a month or so, your best option is to leave the area for long term until there's enough rain to wash away all of that radioactive dust. Main takeaway here, guys, is to stay inside and sealed off as long as possible. You have to be sealed off within 15 minutes with all of your preps that you need to survive. If you can do this and you can stay sealed off with all of your preps for several days to a week, you have increased your chances of surviving exponentially. There's a thing called normalcy bias. Don't think that the catastrophic events in this world can't or won't affect you and they'll just pass you by. Look at what's happening right now to our cost of living. Look at inflation. Look at what gas prices are doing. This video is being recorded on Tuesday, March 8th, and oil is at $128 a barrel. Some analysts are forecasting oil to hit $200 a barrel within the next month. We could see $8, $9 per gallon fuel prices. Don't think it can't happen to you. Don't fall victim to that. I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but I don't want to sugarcoat anything either, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World War III. You can either allow you and your family to drift off into normalcy bias, or you can choose to survive. Panicking helps nothing. Plan, don't panic. Stay calm, stay focused, stay safe, and stay alive. That's what I got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. I am the pistol packing pilot, and I am out.